Hey guys, welcome to my channel. If you are new here, welcome. If you're not new here, welcome back, y'all. My name is Danielle, and this is my spiritual journey. Okay, so I want to talk to y'all about that time I worked with a numerologist to change my name. Okay, so way back in the 2000, no, yeah, 2000s, early 2000s, late 90s, early 2000s, I started experiencing a lot of mess, like just mess. And so, I'm going through the years and everything, and I'm just like, something's just not right. And I didn't know if it was me. I didn't know if it was something else. Like what was going on? I wondered if I had some kind of hex or something on me, just something. And so in 2021, I believe it was 2021, 2022. Um, I had heard that, our names also carry numbers. When it comes to numerology, they carry numbers. The numbers, you add them up for first, middle, last name, however many names you have, you add them up and it gives you a frequency. That frequency can be like, okay, this is what's going on. This is not what's going on, whatever the case is. So anyway, fast forward a little bit. I went to a numerologist. And when I went to the numerologist, she asked for my full name, gave her my full name. She wrote down all the letters, added everything up, and she was just like, huh, okay. Like she was almost like, I see why you're here, kind of type thing. And I was just like, wait. And so she said, she asked a question. She was like, have you experienced any injustice? And I was like, yeah, like that's mainly why I'm here is a lot of injustice for the past two or so decades that I've been noticing. And then when I went back further, I was like, there is even more. And so, she was just like, yeah, I see it. It's literally in your name. And so we went through a bit more of my life that I had lived. And she was like, yeah, all of those are here in your name. And I was like, okay. I am also one of those people that believe that when we come here, um, when we are born, we send some type of message or we know what name our parents are going to give us. And we agree to it for whatever reason, situation it is. You agree to the name or you agree to the name that's going to give you the number that it comes up with. I hope that makes sense. And so I was just like, okay, well, I agree to this. I'm not just going to blame it on my mama and my daddy. Like it's not a blame thing, but it's something that I agreed to. And so we were talking and she's like, yeah, all of this is in your name. And so I was like, yeah, I need to change my name. I want a different outlook for my future. Like I've had a different outlook for my future. I see something different. And so she was like, okay, well, it's not just as easy as changing the name. She was like, with this name you have, and there were certain agreements that I had made, whether it's this to help people or whatever the case is. And so she was like, when I listen to you give information about your life, it sounds like you fulfilled this contract. It sounds like you fulfilled this contract. You haven't fulfilled this contract. You haven't yet fulfilled this contract. And so she was just going back and forth with some things. And so she was like, okay, so what are you looking for? Like, what are you wanting for your future? Like, what do you see? And so I told her all those things. And so she was like, okay, so it sounds like you're wanting a number, blah, 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 for your new name. And so I was like, tell me more about it. And so she's telling me more. And so she was like, well, one of the things that you have to do is you have to do partnerships. And so I was just like, oh my goodness. And so she was like, that's one of the things that I feel strongly that you need to keep with you so that you work on them in this lifetime. And here's something about me. In one of my past lives, I know that I was without telling out everything, let's just say that I know that I was a leader and I led a lot of people. Um, and not just let me not say let me not just say a leader that led a lot of people. Let me say that I was used to being a leader and there were a lot of people who did the things that I needed, right? So if you're a leader, don't care if you're an organization, I don't care if you're any whatever type of leader it is, there's usually people under you who serve you, take care of you, and all these things. So if I'm a leader and I'm leading a lot of people, I lead a lot of people, but there's a lot of people to be able to do things for me. And so now in this lifetime, it made complete sense. Before I even went to her, I knew that I had to do the partnership thing. The partnership thing is not necessarily where I'm in a place of leadership. I can be in a place of leadership, but I need to make sure that I am um, helping a lot of people. And the way that I help people is to show them that they are the leaders. Does that make sense? So it's not like I help you and I help you and you feel good for the day. No, my thing is to help you so that you know that you can be in your own position of power and that you can have people that's just like, oh, okay, well, I'm gonna come to you because I know you know ish and I need you to help me. We're not helping people for a day, we're helping people for their lives, right? And so or for the rest of their lifetime. And so that right there is what I was like, yeah, I already know that about me. And she was like, right, you know that about you, but you have to be in a partnership. So don't just do this part because it was a two-part thing. Don't just do that part. Like that part, you're doing great on it. But you need to do the other part, which is a partnership. And I'm just like, oh my goodness. Yo, I kid you not. Every time I come to anything. I can do a tarot reading with myself. Somebody else can do a tarot reading for me. It's going to come up where it's just like, oh no, you need to do a partnership. Like you need to do this. And it's just like, it's not even necessarily a romantic partnership. It is a partnership. And I'm like, the hell, y'all. And so it's just like those types of things. So anyway, we came up, well, she told me what number I needed to reach to get my name, to get the type of things that I needed to do to get a name, right? And so it was just like, what name have you been thinking about? And so I told her a name that I was thinking about, and she was like, it's not coming up with the right thing, right? And so it was like we were sitting there, I kid you not, we were on that, we were there for a really long time. And I was apologizing because, I didn't know that I should come with names, like a lot of names. I did not know that. And so I was just like, girl, fix me. Wait, help me. And so she was like, no, it's your name. You're going to have to make sure it resonates with you. And so I ended up so I come from three names. I ended up with four names because I couldn't make it fit with just the three names. And so the four names I came up with, I was like, okay. And she was like, so does it have significance to you? Does it mean something to you? I was like, oh, heck yeah, it means something. And so, I walked her through what every name meant. Even the name that I changed to was L. So for those of you who knew me or heard of me as L Jordan, that was a name that I changed to. And so with that one, it was just like I was walking her through everything, the significance of every name. Like I didn't just come up with oh, this name is fine, this name is good, or whatever. Like there were when I had to go from three names to four names is when I was just like, okay, so she helped me with one name, and I really appreciate it, and I really love it. But the other names, yeah, I came up with those names, and it was just everything, and it was great. And so, I had to she was like, do not go through and legally change your name yet. I need you to wear your name. And so she was like, wear your name for a few months and see how it is, see how you like it. Does it really fit you? Does it feel good? And all the things. And so we walk away and I'm wearing my name. And I was just like, I don't like one of my names that I picked out. And I was just like, it means a lot, but I don't like it. And so I went back and I was like, this one name is not working. Like, I don't know what it is. And so we switched the two middle names to see if that was going to work. And it was just like, it's still something that's not right about it. I was like, let's change this middle name. This one middle name, y'all, it sounds crazy, but it's whatever. I was like, let's change this one middle name, but the middle name, y'all. Okay, so the one middle name, let's just say it was let's just say that one of the middle names was Roberta, right? Roberta. The middle name was the appropriate frequency. It was the right weight. It had all the right numbers and everything. So for me to go through and change my name, completely change that name, would mean that we would have to go through the whole thing to be like, that's a letter short, that's a number shorter. It's not giving you the frequency of what you're calling in. So I was just like, excuse me, I'm not changing Roberta. I'm just going to jumble the letters up, right? Like when I was growing up, I used to watch this show called Bumper Stumpers and things like that. And it was just like the scramble, not that, but you just would look at it and you would be like, what are they trying to say? And so that's how I felt. I felt like I had a board of Scrabble and I took all the letters. And again, let's just use the example of Roberta. So you would take Roberta and scramble it all up and come up with a name that you wanted to walk around with. And so that's what I had to do with one of my middle names. And I was just like, oh my goodness. And so I ended up and I was like, oh, this is beautiful. And so I ended up with that one. And so, mind you, this is when we had the original appointment. This is when I'm like, no, this one middle name isn't working for me. And so we change it. And so she's like, okay, same thing. I need you to wear this name. I need you to go out and I need you to just feel comfortable. Do you feel confident telling people what your name is? If you were in a situation and you had to tell someone your full name, would you feel confident? If you had to write your name on documents, would you feel confident? Like all the things. And so there were a few times where I had to do the documents and all the things and I was like, okay, this is really nice. And then I was almost at the stage of let's go ahead and make it legal, right? Let's legally change my name to L, right? And so right before right before it was time to legally change my name, for those of you who may know a bit about my story, if you don't, I'll do it in another story time. But a bit about my story is I followed my intuition to go from one state to another state. And so the other state, when I got there, I did not know what was going on. I did not know why I was supposed to be there. At that point in time, when I was about to legalize my name, thinking about how to do it legally, that is when the situation happened. And I was just like, oh, shoot, this is why I'm here. And that was taking up a good portion of my day and my night. Like I had enough time to go home, get sleep, and start the day over again, right? It was energy needed to be on 10. And so it was that situation. And I was just like, oh my goodness, like there was no way that I was doing anything way back when. I barely had time to learn Spanish. Like when there may be 5 minutes and somebody's running to go do something or go between is when I'm learning some Spanish, right? So the time, the personal time was very much reduced. Okay. And so it wasn't a thing. It wasn't like, oh my goodness, I need to change my name. It wasn't like that. It was just like, oh no, this ain't about to happen. Like I'm cool with it. I'll just do it later. Like it was just, I'm an easy person for the most part. And so then the next thing that I know, it's time to go to Mexico. And so it's just like, okay, I'm in Mexico. And when I'm in Mexico, guess what, guys? I am using my legal name, my government name, Danielle. I am using that name because I'm like, you don't have any proof that you've changed your name. You don't have anything. And so for all business transactions, things like that, I was Danielle. If I'm getting a plane ticket, if I'm getting a bus ticket from one place to the other, because they do need your name and then they need to see like your passport or something like that. And so all those things have Danielle on it. And so yeah, I'm doing Danielle. And even at when things did calm down in the United States, it was I wanted to say it was at max a month. That's not time to do anything because I'm just not going to just change my name legally. I would have to get a new passport. I would have to get everything all over with my changed name. And so I was just like, no, I'm not doing that. Now, mind you, I went to Mexico. So this is 2022. I am in Mexico. And so I went and I told a couple people, my name is Elle. And I'm speaking in Spanish, but I'm like, my name is Elle. And so they were like, Elle? Elle? And I was just like, yeah, yeah, and so they were just like, okay, that's different because in in Spanish, L in Mexico, like L is either the or he, right? It's not, it doesn't have that feminine touch, right? There's no femininity to it because it is the or he. And so I was just like, okay, okay, okay. And then people did not like, they just didn't like that it was L. So they were like, Ellie? Yeah, I don't, uh, Aya, and they were just like giving me different names. And so in Mexico, I did a lot of healing. I did a lot of healing on myself in 2022 and 2023. A lot of healing. I still was doing healing in 2024 in Mexico. So all this time, I'm doing healing, 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 healing. And by the time I got to maybe late 23 or 24, I went back to Danielle. I'm like, my name is Danielle, And then I come back and I'm like, my name is Danielle. Like, I love my name. Like, that was the name that I was given at birth. That was the name that I chose to have for me is Danielle. So I went back to Danielle because I never got the chance to legally change my name to L Jordan. So I just went back to Danielle and I love Danielle. I have a new love for Danielle. I still have that contract and I'm still going to honor that contract of the partnerships. I've always helped people, since before I even went through the process with the numerologist to change my name. I always help people and I didn't want to help people for this time. Like I have this thing to help you for a lifetime. If you've ever worked with me, I help you with that one thing that you think you need help with, but I make sure you don't ever come back to me for it, right? You can come back to me for something else. We'll work on that. But I even walk you through the process. So it's just like I don't want you to be dependent on me. I want you to learn to do it for yourself, like all these things, because we are powerful. There are times when people are just like, I know how to do it for myself, but I want you to do it. I completely understand that. Like, I have people, I know how to do tarot for myself. I know how to contact my ancestors for myself. But other times, if somebody's going to volunteer to do it and I trust you, oh, yeah, nah, you can do it. So that's my thing is that, I still honor those contracts and, I honor them in unique ways because it's who I am. I do things uniquely. I get me out of the box, right? And so I am definitely honoring my contract to be in a partnership. And, it works for me. My partnership works for me. So that was excuse me, that was my visit with the numerologist, learning a lot about my name, the things that, that number meant for me. But I also, I'm gonna put this at the end, y'all, this is rude. I also realized that instead of going to a numerologist, with me being I am more than an energy healer. For those of you who know about me and my story, I'll probably put that story next, my next story time, not the next video, but a next story time. I'll probably do a little bit more about me so that you can see that I also help people break contracts, right? These can be contracts, these can be curses, these can be hexes. Like, so I'm more than an energy healer. It's just that energy healer is something that people have heard of. If I go and start listening to some of the things, people are like, girl, what? What? Um, but yeah, I am. If you look up I was going to say, if you look at the legit definition of a witch, and it's not just somebody who does curses and all these things, but a true healer, whether you need to use the elements, whether you need to use herbs, whether you need to use, your words, your power, bend energy, all the things, like someone who walks with confidence in their independence, right? We're not followers, we are leaders. If you look, you will find that that is the true definition of a witch. It is a woman, men as well. But yeah, we're taking control with confidence of our lives. We are not followers. And, we use the things around us, the elements, the energy, it, we even use the sun. Man, I loved being in the sun, not just due to melanin, but just to be in the sun, to bask in the sun, take that energy of the sun, divert it and use it for something else, or, just all the things, energy benders, all the things, guys. But what was I talking about? Oh my goodness, I just went all over the world. I do that sometimes, but I'm not putting myself in the box when it comes to being in a partnership. And I haven't had that thing to put myself in a box and be in a partnership. So that is what I am embracing. It's just to not put myself in the box when people talk about partnerships, being in partnerships, and this is my person and all the things. It's a different approach to it, and so I am. This is very new, but I am newly um, taking accountability for that contract where I'm supposed to be in a partnership, and so yeah, that. Um, and so far, it's working out great, and I love it. But that's all that I have as far as my name, getting my name changed. And while I did go to the numerologist to get my name changed to L. Jordan, I did not have time to do it legally. Did a whole lot of healing while I was in Mexico. The 2024, I did do some healing as well. But I want to say the bulk of the healing that I did in 2023 was what led me to be like, I am good with my name. So even if you don't have the funds or whatever to change your name, and to get a different number, you can work with somebody. Like I said, I've done where I break contracts. Maybe it's not where you need to break a contract, but you already fulfilled that contract, and it's time to switch out the wording. It's time to just be like, okay, well, this is already cashed in. Like, why are we still doing this lesson? Like, we've already learned the lesson. We've already done the things, right? And so and just that kind of thing. So there's other ways to do and to change the frequency that is around you if you don't want to go through the thing of changing your name. So there are other ways, y'all. But that is all that I have. This is my story time. Happy Friday, y'all. It's Friday for me. Knowing that Fridays are ruled by Venus, y'all know I am doing some self-love today, which includes putting some oil on my scalp. I love my protective hairstyle. This is allowing me to accomplish one of my things, which is to grow my hair really long. These things are really small, but it allows me like complete access to my scalp. And so I'm able to give that love to my scalp and to do all the things to get my hair growing and to reach the goals that I have for my hair and all the things. And that's just the tip of what I'm doing for myself on Friday. So thank y'all for watching. If you have any questions or anything like that, y'all put it in the comment section. Um, do not ask what my full legal name is, government, and do not ask what my full name is that I had worked with the numerologist because I'm not going to give you those things. Like that's private information, number one. Number two, anybody would be able to be like, oh, okay, so this is her number, this is what she's doing, all the things. It's not that it bothers me, but y'all, we can't have people out there because I know that there are some people who just take information and go too far with it. They put on the guise that they're good people and everything. But yeah, that's the other thing. Oh my goodness, with me doing the healings and things that I've been doing, even through 2024. And I'm still working on some pieces and parts in 2025. Y'all, I am able to pick up on energy like crazy. Like it used to be I could pick up on energy and then I'm like, is it not? But y'all, I can be minding my business and I can see a text message and I'm like, oh, so this is how we come in that. Or I can read something and I'm like, oh, do you feel this energy? Like it's just all the things. It is so interesting. It's so interesting. Okay, y'all, let me stop. Okay, y'all have a great Friday. Have a great Friday, and I will chat with y'all later. Have a good one. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share. And I'll chat with y'all later. Bye, y'all.